And so why am I passionate about LinkedIn? It works, right? It works. And it's the only platform 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year that's open for business. It's the only platform designed for business.
This is the Snowball Effect. You're listening to the Marketing Playbook series, presented by the Snowball Effect podcast. It's growth done right.
Hey, this is Todd, and welcome to the Snowball Effect. There are three numbers that I read recently that just blew my mind. That 50% of a brand's impact has to do with the online brand and the online presence of its CEO or its founder. Also, that 77% of people will actually consider the CEO or the founder's online presence when deciding to trust a brand or not. And then this final one, that 45% of people will actually decide, who am I even going to consider for this service based off of thought leadership over social media. So bottom line is, CEOs, C-suite, founders, you need to take your online presence very seriously, and specifically on LinkedIn. That's why I'm bringing in my guest, Ken Cohen. This guy has LinkedIn figured out. Let me show you his profile so you know I'm not blowing smoke. So you can see that he's got this thing fully fleshed out. He's got almost 30,000 followers. You see his experience in the home services industry, which is fantastic. And then before that, he's got all kinds of experience. And then check out his awards and honors. He's got awards for Business Development Executive of the Year, the AI Innovators Award. So he's the perfect guy to show us how to do LinkedIn right. And just a note, I had some video issues on my end, so be patient with a little workaround. But let me introduce you to Ken Cohen. Welcome to the podcast, Ken. It's great to have you.
Great, Todd. Great to be here. Thank you. I think I'm blushing a little bit, but if it's a podcast, maybe no one will notice. Thank you so much for those kind words.
Well, those watching, look at those awards right behind Ken there. I mean, they're not just on LinkedIn. Look, we've got proof that he's actually won these awards. But
it's a rental, so they do go back at 5 p.m. today.
That's right. What did I read? Or I heard a comedian say, like, I practiced really hard at being a basketball player, and then I realized I could go to a thrift store and just buy trophies. It's like, that's way easier. That's way
great.
But anyway,
my secret is out.
It's so good to have you on the podcast, Ken. Seriously, I mean, you're in your industry, you're kind of a celebrity there, and so having you on the podcast means a lot to us. But I'm really excited to pick your brain, especially about LinkedIn. But before we do that, Ken, would you give us just a little bit of feel of your background? I touched on it lightly, but just flesh that out for me a little bit so people get a sense of what your experience has been.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Todd. And you hit the nail on the head. The last 20 years, I've been in the home services industry, including home relocation, working with ADT, Frontier, AD&T, DirecTV, bunch of telecom providers. So I'm very, very familiar in the home service space. But using tools really came into play the last 10 years of my career in figuring out there's a better way to get from A to B. I understand the process. There's got to be a tool to automate it. So really some of the things that you've talked about, best use of technology in sales, very, very exciting to get that. That's not best sales in a moving company or home service company. That's a Stevie Award 2 years in a row for global companies and the best use of sales and technology. So I'm really proud of that. And while I say me, there's a lot of really, really hardworking people that go with that. And while I did hurt my shoulder patting myself on the back, it is not about me. I'm smart enough to know that I need a lot of people to help me, and smart enough to know that there's tools that can make me look even brighter than I really am.
Well, first of all, you made me feel better that those are real awards that you actually earned. So thanks for that. But also you said a word there several times that I want to double click on: tools. And so I want to leverage all that experience that you have with building processes and making complex things simple. Help us understand how to better use tools, especially on LinkedIn. And so, but let me just ask you, why is LinkedIn? I mean, for you, it's a major intentional priority, right? Why
Uh,
is that
it,
such a priority, and why should it be a priority for others?
yeah, so it's funny. People ask me, Ken, you're vocal on LinkedIn about TalkDesk. Why? Well, it works. Ken, you're vocal about Yembo on TalkDesk. Yeah, it works. You know, LinkedIn works. And when I started my previous job, today, Todd, I'm doing consulting work for companies that and people that generate $100,000 a year revenue and $500 million a year revenue, because it doesn't matter. The tools work regardless of the zeros after the revenue. And it was really interesting hearing you talk about the CEOs and all that brand. Hey, you're the CEO of your own brand as an individual, right? And so I'll show you some ways to get there. But I would think what's really interesting and fascinating for me is I'm just in the game. So when I talk to younger folks, one thing I tell them to get on LinkedIn for build your connections. If you're in school, start building your connections and build your connections. And the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon that used to be those commercials, it's full impact related to how LinkedIn works. But never on LinkedIn. And when I started working at this company, great people, they said, hey, Ken, I know you don't have a LinkedIn profile, but everyone here has one. You need to get one. Okay, no problem. And how I do anything is how I do everything. So I went, got the free account, and I'll never forget. Like the third day there, I'm like going through my phone looking for every person I knew, because I was trying just to get my number past 500. Where it says 500 connections. I like 283, 90, like. I was going to the cemeteries and looking for people like we were voting for the next election. And it like literally, I never used it, didn't know how to use it, had the free account. Everybody at the company used it. Long story longer, nobody was using it. No one knew how to use it. And even the people who thought they knew how to use it weren't. But I didn't know that. And so I started the journey, but it wasn't until the last couple of years when I understood the tools that were out there, where I spend time. I made it part of my job to understand the tools available on how to make processes more effective, more efficient. And then I started to understand about personal branding. Then I started to understand and fill in the blank, and we'll share some of those blanks. But it's only the last 2.5, 3 years that my connections and my followers have increased to the level it has by using tools. I'm not talking about click farms to, like using your own tools, for a half an hour a day on how to increase your brand. And so why am I passionate about LinkedIn? It works, right? It works. And, it's the only platform 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year that's open for business. It's the only platform designed for business. So, yeah, I see the TikTok commercials and the Facebook Messenger and the other tools are trying to make it a business tool. LinkedIn is a business tool. It has over 1 billion users worldwide. And even the worst salespeople can convert on that number, right? The US alone, there's 200 million users. And of all those users, do you know what percentage is creating their own content?
It's got to be low.
1.5%.
1.5% that are actually, they're not just on
Creating
watching
their
it, they're
own
creating content on it.
Right? So people hit like and think they're I'm in LinkedIn, I'm hitting like, I don't understand. Well, like's nice, doesn't mean anything, right? And commenting, engaging, creating a post. Oh my God, let's stare at the screen for hey, I had an hour on LinkedIn. What'd you do? I stared at the screen trying to create a post, right? So yeah, like I think regardless of where you are as an individual sole owner, proprietor of whether you're a CEO, whether you have $100 billion company, or you're doing stuff yourself for $100,000 a year, it doesn't matter because all your customers are on LinkedIn. Let's kind of equate it to the trade show, right? So when you go to a trade show, I'm going to use a conservative number of $10,000 to $20,000, and where did I get that number? You have to pay for the trade show, and then there's the airfare, and then there's the transportation of the parking to the airport, and then from the airport to the hotel, and the meals, and your lost opportunity costs of being at the trade show for 3 to 7 days. And then the lost time, not just the opportunity of the sale, the lost time, you need 3 days to catch up from being out. It can be exhausting.
We're lucky if we do a trade show for under 20,000.
Okay, so $20,000, fair number. The tool I'm going to talk about today is $3 a day. I have 7 tools that we could talk about, not all today, that are less than $80 a day, right? So think about that. Now, think about the conference, the trade show you're going to. I'm a big believer in in-person communication.
So am I.
I think that Zoom calls are a great way to connect. I think using LinkedIn is a great way to prospect and network. In no way am I going to say that replaces a trade show or face-to-face communication, but it helps you lead up to that. And there might be some low-hanging fruit in between that you can do. But if you think about the cost of the trade show, and there's 7,000 people, 10,000 people at the largest trade shows, and we're talking about 200 million people that are on LinkedIn, I don't understand how not more time is spent networking and prospecting on LinkedIn relative to what we just said. People say 15 minutes a day. Look, I can't say hello in 15 minutes a day, and I think you can get to 15 minutes a day. But if you just say an hour, if you say 30 minutes to an hour a day, every day, working the tools on LinkedIn, you will not only get the followers, because that's nice. That's a nice vanity number. And when I go to pay the mortgage and I say, hey, I almost have 30,000 followers. And they say, yeah, and, right? Like,
they don't lower your interest rate or something? Like, there's got to be something.
The whole idea is the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You work the connections and engagement. That leads to someone to know someone. But the trade show analogy is something that I think we can use when I have a chance to stop waving my hands around and show the tool.
Well,
right?
And that's what I want to jump into, because I think so many people understand that your network contributes directly to your net worth. And so I want to ask you, though, as we jump in now and start looking at the tool, what's the biggest problem that you see if someone is like, great, okay, I'm hyped, I want to get in and do this, but then they see Mount Ken, where you're up there with 30,000, followers and a daily habit of posting, and here they are. What's the first problem that they run into to take that first step to get to where you are at?
Yeah, it is true of anything, right? Every marathon starts with the first step, right? But you know, you ever know human behavior is so amazing. I really love it. I cannot grow hair if you yelled at me to grow hair. Can't do it. Right? I don't know how to do it.
We could try. We could try.
We can try. We can
I'd
try
like
for
to try.
sure. And so my point of that is there's a time commitment. Yes, I'm saying 30 minutes a day, right? A lot of folks say 15 minutes. I don't think so. 30 minutes to an hour. But, lots of companies, I got to be on LinkedIn, make the, and the folks don't know what to do. Get on LinkedIn. They're yelling at them to grow hair and they don't know how to grow hair. Let's put them in a training class and tell them what to do. You could tell me that I need to grow hair. You could show me all the people with beautiful heads of hair. It's not helping me.
So let me ask you then, how does somebody take that first step? What do you see?
I think the biggest problem is someone goes, we're talking about creating content. There's a reason that's only 1.5% of the users create their own content because the post. What am I going to write? So everybody likes because that's easy. Click, 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 click. I just liked. It's meaningless. Doesn't help your algorithms. I don't really care about the algorithms on LinkedIn is important because that's going to get your feed in front of people, right? Your feed in front of people depends on the algorithms. The algorithms depends on your posting and your content and your commenting and your engagement level, right? Doesn't factor in likes. So there's networking, there's prospecting, all those things. How do you get your feed out? So it all starts with the dance on LinkedIn. When you go to a conference, you don't go there and sit on the side, sipping a drink and expect you're going to get sales. You got to engage. LinkedIn is no different. You have to post content. People will comment on it. You comment on other people. You know what? Todd, can you help me? Let's try to solve for something, right?
Great.
I told you I was in the moving industry for 10 years and everybody faces the same issue on cost of acquisition. A Google lead in general converts at 10% and a referral converts at 65%. A referral lead is much less expensive than a Google or Bing lead.
Hey, now you're speaking my language over here at Snowball. So, but
referrals are great. Yeah,
here?
so let's do a real exercise here and use the tool to show how we can get there. Can you tell me how many real estate agents there are in the country? I'm sure there's over 1 million, but I don't know.
Okay, so jump into Google and just
how many real estate agents are in the United States?
In the U.S. All right. Let's
put in the how many so you'll get a number back.
Let's see what Gemini says here.
Okay, 1.5 million.
Okay, there we go.
All right, I'm cool with that. Now, can you do the same thing on moving companies in the United States? I know there's over 20,000. Not sure the exact number.
There we go.
Look at that. Okay.
You were pretty close.
Pretty close.
21,000, yeah.
Yeah, and I know 50 of them, so I must be an expert. Okay, so I am in the relocation space. I'm one of the 21,281 moving companies, and I want to get referrals from real estate agents. How's that for what are we going to solve for? Okay, so here I am on LinkedIn, And I could use LinkedIn, and I could say real estate agents. Real estate agents, if I know how to type, in the United States. Okay, and there's all kinds of groups, and it's going to come up. Let me do people. And all these people are going to come up, right? There's going to be a gazillion of them. And what should I start connecting? Just connecting with everyone? How long would that take me to do? I don't know, right? But that's one way. Like, you don't need a tool. You could go on LinkedIn and you could be a needle in the haystack, right? So, and this is where I was when I started. Okay. Now I need to do the dance. I need to put some content out. I need people to see me. I need them to engage with me. I need to start a communication through comments and liking. And then after I have a relationship, I could say, hey, what do you think about us partnering together? You don't go into a trade show and walk up to someone, would you like to send me leads? Right? That's what we do on LinkedIn, right? We send a comment and
you don't just get on here and say, gimme, gimme, gimme. Right?
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. You got to do the art of the dance. The problem is people don't know how to dance, right? So I just told you that, what's the problem? So I go over here to Evy AI, okay? Now, why do I love Evy AI? First of all, there's a community of folks when you enroll in the pro program. And there's 787. I'm one of them. I'm a proud member of the Evy AI community. This is not a paid endorsement. I'm endorsing because it works. They're limiting it to 1,000. They do 1,000 every year. So you're part of a community. These are people who will help you with their own tips and tricks along the way, right? It's a giving community. So I love that. There's a learning hub. So resources and courses and all these quick links, right? So you just said how many connections I have, right? Now, how do I possibly keep track of all those connections?
Yeah, you have 29,000. That's a lot of cats to herd.
That's a lot of cats to herd. So Evy AI, one of the tools I just shared with you is downloading, right? So these are all of my contacts, gives me their names, whatever email address, and then this little Google search. So I could click on the Google search and it could take me to it. But now I could take this list and sort it into categories, and then I could target those categories. I could be more strategic in who I'm reaching out to. Now, this is after you have a list. But if you don't have a list, how do I get a list? I get it. But again, another feature of Evy AI on how you can maximize your opportunity on connecting with your folks. So I really, really like the different tools and quick links that they have available. Okay. But we're going to stay focused on what we're trying to accomplish. So I'm going to go, and I, in true disclosure, I was testing this, right? So here, I'm going to take this post idea. I am a top moving company and I want to partner with real estate agents to generate referrals with my new referral program. So this is the post idea that I typed in earlier. So what I did earlier, I went to idea generator. So this, Todd, is where everybody is staring at the screen on LinkedIn. Okay. What do I mean by staring on the screen on LinkedIn? I'm over here. I'm going to create content and I'm going to generate a post. Okay. So I want to create a post. Oops. And this is the screen I'm going to stare at for an hour.
That's the screen of death that paralyzes somebody when they look at this and they go, what do I have
What
to say?
now? I took all these courses and it told me create content. Ken told me to create content. Bob and Sally told me to create content. All right, I'm going to create content. I'm going to grow hair. This is the problem.
But this is where the rubber meets the road, right?
1.5% of the users of LinkedIn create content. How do I solve for that with Evy AI? It has an idea generator. And so this is like the cooking commercial or the cooking show where they show you the chicken before cooked, and then they go to the oven and they pull it out and it's all cooked. Oh my God, that's the fastest cooking oven in the history of mankind, right? And look at all the trimmings, it's perfect. And then you look in the corner, you see like 7 other
7 failed experiments,
right? So, but it's this simple. You type an idea in, and this is what we talked about. I'm a top moving company. I want to partner with real estate agents to generate leads and referrals with my new referral program. That's the idea, right? I click on here, and this uses ChatGPT. By the way, I could use AI outside of this, but this is all in the same ecosystem. This is all feeding off of the things that are LinkedIn's algorithms are getting eat up like Pac-Man eats up those little things. Okay. So I'm going to generate ideas. There's my idea generator. Okay. Partnering with real estate agents is the key to transforming the moving process into a stress-free journey for home buyers. Hey, I like that. Right. So I'm going to copy that idea, clicking there. Okay. Then I'm going to go to post writer. So this is going to write my post. And what's great about this is, what is my goal? I have all kinds of different goals I could put here. In this case, networking. What is my tone? My tone could be authoritative, assertive, friendly, happy, funny, and I could create any persona I want. So
what kind of tone do you like? You're like a cheerful, insightful, funny guy. What kind of
I like to keep it friendly, right? But Perfect. It depends on really. I use the personas mostly when I'm commenting, and I want to show that to you as well, because the white screen of death is not just posting original content, but part of your engagement is commenting on the people that you want to engage with, not just liking, commenting. So they comment back and you comment back, and now you're doing the dance. So I use the personas on that comment. For example, I have a comment response, and I'll show you personas in a moment. But you know me well enough, Todd, I will lose my train of thought pretty quickly here.
I love about you.
I think I saw an ant crawl across the floor. It may distract me. Okay, so I'm going to keep this information. I'm trying to show you the dynamics. Also, by the way, remember, LinkedIn is in all different countries. It will have whatever language you want to convert it to. So we're not going to play with Persian today. We're going to stick with English. Okay. So I'm going to copy, paste the idea that the Evy AI idea generator gave me, right? How long did that take, right? The idea, the generator came up and I posted it. I wasn't talking 2 seconds, right? Yeah. And I'm going to hit generate here. And I'm going to wait 10 seconds or so for it to generate a post. Partnering with real estate agents can turn that chaos into a smooth journey for home buyers. As a business development consultant, I've seen firsthand how collaboration can ease the stress of moving. It's just about finding a house. It's about creating a seamless experience from start to finish. I've discovered the secret to a stress-free move lies in the relationships we build. Real estate agents are the unsung heroes who guide homeowners through the maze. Let's share our experiences. Have you ever had a real estate agent made your move feel like a breeze, or perhaps you have a tip of making the move process smoother? So this is engaging and networking, right? So you post this. You're saying something nice about realtors. You're asking. You are doing the dance. It's a very, very easy, simple post. And all you would do is copy it, paste it on LinkedIn. And what I love about this, it has all my hashtags already. How long did that take?
Yeah, that was really fast, and especially I could imagine initially, you're taking what it generates and you're putting that out there. But as you kind of discover your voice, you're customizing it a little, or you're tagging someone in there that's a good example of what you're talking about. I could really see how this gives you that nudge to just get out there and start creating with all this scaffolding, with the resources. So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and again, this is just an example of how to use the tool to create an idea that will lead to a post. And this is really key. So that's how to post, right? The white screen. Hey, where do I get an idea from? Evy will help you. Okay, now I got the idea. I got the idea. Now I want to post something. Okay, Evy AI will help you. Okay, so that's posting. The other part is commenting, right? You're going to comment on the people you're targeting on their posts. So how do I do that? Same thing. And if you look at this, right, and yeah, I'm really proud of my analytics, right? But if you look at what LinkedIn is saying, increase your visibility by posting, commenting, and contributing. We suggest taking 3 actions every week. 3 actions a week. Now I have 15 here, and I purposely have kept it low so I could show you how easy it is with Evy AI to increase. So we talked about posts, comments, and I purposely didn't do contributions. But if we go to comments, right, another indicator. So when you are on LinkedIn, you want to post, engage, message, and connect. Post, engage, message, and connect. That's how you can build relationships. And those relationships will lead to relationships. And you could they follow you back, then you connect. It's 30 to an hour a day. And I'm not saying you can get a sale on day one. You got to build your following. You got to build some, you got to get some shoe leather going. Okay. But when I'm just going to go to the home page, right? And I'm just going to pick on the first person that pops up here, right? Darren. I'm going to like it. Now I want to comment. Purple box here, Evy AI. So what is my goal? I want to offer support. Friendly. And the persona now I have is my comment persona. Right there, comment persona, I hit generate. Embrace the possibilities, let's go. I don't even know what the topic was.
I hear you say let's go all the time. So I know that's kind of your shtick.
Yeah, well, I have that in the persona, which I'll show you in a moment. But the secret of change is to focus on all your energy, not on fighting the old, but on building the new. Embrace the new possibilities, let's go. Insert. Comment. I just commented. How long did that take?
That was just a few seconds. And a well-placed comment, it's like a commercial for yourself or for your company. If you get onto a good conversation and you've got a thoughtful comment, that's a commercial that's just evergreen out there for a long time.
It is engaging. So when I go back to Evy AI and I go to personas, and I have them. Like, you ever look on birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. I on my birthday I get a lot of happy birthday. No individualized, right? So all of these are individualized. So on my comment response for my persona, I say, you are Ken Cohen and you're replying to a comment. Keep it really short, like 5 to 10 words. End with let's go, which is my gig. Make it
Do it.
inspirational and encouraging. Do not include the person's name. So that I can get so like 13 comments, 30 minutes to an hour of your time. How many comments can you do on LinkedIn having the tool that lets you comment right in the platform? These are the reasons why I'm a big fan, and this is how you grow hair. This is how you start the journey to 30,000 connections. My goal this year is to get to 40, then 60 next year, and then 100 the year after. And I'm going to do it by being smarter on how I'm using the tools available to me.
This is what I love about what you did, Ken, is the white screen of death. You showed us how to solve that problem. Just the paralyzing effect of the white screen of death. But then I loved how you showed us how to create the post, how to comment on other people's posts, and to create and customize your personas so that this is something that you can actually do and you're not going to burn out because you get all excited. These are the tools and these are the habits that people can really, they're doable. And so we can all aspire to have the reach that you have.
They are doable. I'm proof of it. I'm proof of it. I had zero presence on LinkedIn. And I fumbled and bumbled and stumbled like a drunken sailor my first 3 years because I did not know what I was doing. And you got to do this. I was taking direction from people who were telling me to grow hair. So make an effort, give it a shot, do it for yourself, have some fun with it, and let's go. Thanks, Todd.
Well said. And from us here at Snowball, thanks everybody for joining, and we'll see you next time on the Snowball Effect.